Welcome everyone to another fantastic Hawkeye panel of talking and enjoying just chewing the fat over this most recent episode here at Fandom Spotlight. I am Joe. I am our host. I am someone who does things. And I am joined by a fantastic panel of guests as per the norm. And these are some of my favorite people in the world. Absolutely. Let's start with Yali.
Hi, I'm here. I'm not moderating, and it's not because I got in trouble. So I'm glad to be back.
Not yet.
Shocking.
Not yet. Next, we got Jaz. Jaz, you want to talk to the people? Say hi.
Hi, people. Check out these awesome socks. Rogers the Musical. Rockin' socks.
She was right out the gate with the socks.
Yeah. I was actually wondering how long until you got
Me
to show
too.
them off.
They're not our sponsor, but we would like for them to be. So
And I'm going to throw this out there, Jaz. I dig the Dutch angle of your background a little bit. Like,
oh, yeah, right?
The pictures are kind of at a slant, and that's awesome. I don't know. I just dig it. Matt.
Hey,
One of my best friends.
Much like Joe, you're one of my best friends. Much like Joe, I do things too. You know?
You do so much more than I do, though. I just have cats.
I do stuff too.
No.
I mean, I buy socks, so yeah.
See,
I
you
buy
helping the
socks, too.
economy.
So we are on episode 4 of Hawkeye. We are officially over halfway through with this series or season, depending on if we get more. It's a big crapshoot right now whether or not a Marvel show gets a second season or not. Just as a warning, there will be spoilers. So if you haven't watched the episode yet, or whatever, you may want to bounce and come back later after this.
Get out.
Basically, what are you doing here? Get the hell out. Go watch the show, then come back.
Right.
Love
Or if you don't care about spoilers, we're about to blow your tiny little minds. So first off, I want to ask the panel, what did we think of this episode? Without giving too much away.
Loved
Upside
it.
down.
Loved it.
I'm an up as well.
Yeah, I'm up in it.
Yeah,
I'm up in it.
Okay.
Hater.
I was actually really curious about Yali's stance on it because she loved the last episode, right?
Oh my god!
Yeah, she did.
Listen,
Yeah.
I wrote about it. I put it in my diary. Like, it was so special.
But I was curious because you hadn't said anything in our little chat that we have leading up to these episodes, and you were ranting and raving at the last one. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started at the top of the episode. When we last left our intrepid people, they were breaking into Kate's mom's place to steal some data.
The key.
With the
Right?
key. Breaking in with the penthouse entry elevator door to steal data about the tracksuits because Kate's mom has better tech than half the Avengers practically. Especially since Stark's gone now.
I was gonna say Tony's gone, so
yeah, Tony would be the best top tier in that hacking gear stuff. And then it would probably be, Peter's there now. He's got this stuff and he's smart enough. He just hasn't figured it out.
Peter's worried about not getting arrested. He doesn't have time to look up shit.
Right.
Very true.
He does not have time.
Spider-Man on the yard. It's a rap day one.
Oh, he was on the raft a couple of times. Pete's been to jail.
True.
But
he's too busy being on the hot and spicy show right now. Have you guys seen that?
I just watched that today.
I did. He was adorable.
I love hot ones.
He's adorable.
need to see that.
He's
I love to see people suffer and talk about their lives.
Exactly.
So what we ended with was Jack holding a sword to Clint's throat, and that's where we picked up this time around.
Yep.
And after a short exchange and people realizing who they were, there proceeded to be the most awkward family discussion at a table. It was like dinner without the dinner. It was just the awkward. Do we have any thoughts of the waspiest meeting ever? I'll start with Matt.
That was very waspy. Good, great word. Great word. I am so confused of the Jack Duquesne character. I'm so confused because it's like I don't know if it's like it's giving me red herring, then it's giving me playing stupid, And I'm still not 100% sold that him and Clinton don't know each other. That though, see you later, Jack. That seemed real friendly.
Mhm.
That seemed real familiar
You
when he
know
was getting
what?
up to
You
leave. He was
bond.
like, see you, Jack.
You bond real quick when you walk away from a confrontation with a sword at your throat.
Very true. Very true. But yeah, but I just feel like that whole scene, like with him and the mom and the dancing and the getting the sayings wrong, it felt too played up to him being like deer in the
Yeah.
headlights
Okay.
for him not
Jazz.
to know what's going on.
But going back to earlier before that though, I mean, the mom walks in and she goes, "What the hell's going on, and why is there an adventure in my dining room?"
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is New
she's-
York. Shouldn't that be
and then he's
common
like,
by
"Oh
now?
my God, you're Archer." So whatever that's about.
I
Yeah,
did
that
love
was hilarious.
that Jack didn't know what to call him. He's like, "You're Archer," and he's like, "Well, yes, but no."
He's the wrong show, bro.
That's the other Marvel show on Hulu right now.
Right. But no, like with that, like when he had the sword to the neck, it was like serious, no business. And then the mom walks in, he's like, "Oh, you're Archer." And I was like, bro, like, come on, guy.
Good point. That's a good point.
Like his whole temperament changed, and it's just like I'm not 100% convinced that he don't know. But I do like the part that Jazz brought up. Like the mom didn't really know why they were there, and I feel like she kind of showed her hand that she's up to some shady shit too. She was like, "Oh shit, like why are you here, bro?"
100%.
Like, oh, it's not for me. Oh, cool, cool.
Yep.
Have some tea. Yo. Have some tea.
Yali or Jazz had thoughts. Do you have more to
She's
add?
just
to it?
having butted in on Matt.
I'm sorry. I was
No,
actually
you're
going to
good.
be like, Jazz, you seem to have something.
No, but I mean, I kind of already made my point before that whole scene with the with the whole Disney adventure doing in my dining room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with Matt. Like, mom is up to something. I'm not too sure what's going on there, but I think mom and daddy over there are up to no good, and it'll be interesting to see where that plays out. Because
Talk about playing house a whole new meaning.
Oh my god. I agree with everybody. I feel like the mom and future step pappy are definitely in on some shit together. I think they were definitely surprised. I was like, "Oh, Kate, what's girl? What you doing here? You got keys, you got keys, baby." Like it just seemed like so. Like, how do you forget you gave your daughter keys? You know what I mean? Like, it obviously she was like very like when she said she obviously called someone's like, "Yo, call me back like right now." Like, so she's definitely up to some shit. I don't like Jack's whole like happy-go-lucky isn't he or isn't he? Like, it's just too much. Like, I get what it's the purpose for, but to me it just feels like, or it could be like reverse psychology where like he is so dumb that he is that dumb.
He's giving us the impression that
Right.
he's either a criminal genius
or
an
he's just
absolute idiot.
stupid. So
1000% a cup.
There's no in between. It's gonna be one or the other.
It is, yeah.
I'm not even like again, I'm not really sure if the writer room like intended that shit or this is just some shit that happened on set. But I just feel like that whole scene was like just uncomfortable for me to watch. And like now I kind of get why Kate is just like so friendly to everyone else because her family is just like not fun.
Can we acknowledge like when Kate and the mom, I'm sorry, not Kate, when Jack and the mom, what's her name? Eleanor? We keep calling her the
it's
mom.
Eleanor. Yep, Eleanor.
Right?
on my
when
note.
there you go. Yeah, when Jack and Eleanor were like dancing and telling like corny parent jokes and Kate was like grinning and getting along and everything.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, wasn't you just investigating my man for murder?
But she did try to stab him in the face. Like, she just left that out.
I
You
think
just
it's
forgot that
more-
his uncle got killed.
I think it's more
yesterday.
the idea that she's just happy to see her mom happy.
Yeah, I was
and
getting
that's probably hard to keep that from breaking through. That being said, that's probably why when he's like, "Yeah, you were right about Jack," later on, which we'll get more to that scene in a little bit. She was so on board. She's like, "Oh, good, I need a reason to hate him again."
She's like, I started to have feelings.
Right. Start to forgive him and shit.
For my part, I really enjoyed it because I really did dig Jack getting the aphorisms wrong.
Yeah.
So it gave me huge flashbacks because we mentioned Archer. He mentioned Archer. I love that show, and there's a whole few arcs or a few episodes where they're talking about colloquialisms and aphorisms and how like they don't work in other languages the same way. So like that's just, it's giving me huge flashbacks to that part of the series. I really enjoyed the awkwardness of that whole family meeting, and Kate's mom, even if she's not up to something, the steely demeanor that she's able to like deal with that situation kind of makes sense, because she's been basically running a security company for a decade, so, or longer if she didn't get snapped.
And what she said to Clint at the end before he left was so freaking cold.
Oh, yeah.
I was ready to throw shit at her. I'm telling you.
It makes sense, but yes.
It does. Absolutely.
Yeah. Especially if you think about it, like how we what was that, Civil War, Age of Ultron, like Clint's family is supposed to be off the books. So like for her to be like, do you have kids? I'm gonna assume you have kids. Like, oh, you know things. Like, you know
if she's
stuff.
if she's got technology that's able to hack like phones that shouldn't have access to it, then like she's probably been in some shield databases. So
yeah, but how good is her security team? Like, where was she during like Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Like, mad shit was going down. Like, we could have used your skill set to like locate.
That's why I don't think she's up to anything good.
Yeah, like where were you? Like, there was plenty of times where she could have.
That wasn't on my block. That wasn't on my block.
Well, no, wasn't her area.
I don't worry about things that don't have
coverage. Bishop security may have had a higher price tag than they were willing to pay.
Oh goodness, but yeah, I'm just like, how good is she? Like, where were you during WandaVision? Like, shit definitely popped off over there, and you could have helped.
I have friends that work in security in the public and private sectors and stuff, and most of them are like, a lot of times the public sector thinks it's way better than it actually is, so they don't ask for help because they don't think they need help. When the private sector security companies are like, we have better technology than you. You're using stuff that's 40 years old, man. Come on. So
well, they did use a radio in WandaVision. That is old. So
they said,
well, I mean, they did go back to the 50s too.
So it's you know.
They said, yo, something crazy going on. You might want to get on it. She said, where at? They said Jersey. She said, nah. Leave it. Leave it.
No.
Leave it. Ill.
Did you say Camden?
He said they probably deserve it. Leave it.
So
it's Jersey. It'll sort itself out.
So what we have afterwards is Clint reaching out to Laura again, the wildly underutilized Linda Cardellini, to ask her for some help in looking into, I can't remember the name of the company, but
Sloan.
That's it.
Thank you.
Sloan.
They look into Sloan, and she gets back to him, and they discuss.
In 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's like the
said,
time
don't
the
hang
elevator
up.
takes.
Right?
Don't hang up. I got you.
So and then there's a nice little exchange, and we find out that Sloan is a front for the Tracksuit Mafia, and that Jack is the CEO of Sloan. So like, come on, like if she's able to find it in like 3 seconds, you know, even if Eleanor isn't up to shady stuff, she still has to know this, right?
She absolutely knows.
Yep.
So she definitely knows. I have my thoughts on who she called when she was like, yo, call me back. It's an emergency.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that one later on when we get to it.
That's towards the end.
I think we're on the same wavelength here.
So what do we think of this little exchange? It's short. There's probably not a lot there. There is actually a whole bunch there.
So many things there.
Joseph and I had a little side conversation on this ourselves. So.
When we were waiting for Yali to watch the episode, I was like, I can't.
I know. It was like I'm like, I could have got this fucking chat. They saying way too much.
She said mute.
I'm gonna go.
Can I share real quick?
Go for it.
So the part of the discussion is asking about the Rolex, which is the first time that we've had someone outside of the tracksuits asking about the Rolex, because Clint doesn't give a crap about the Rolex, but it is primarily what they're after. Originally, I thought the Rolex was some sort of quantum tech or something, but apparently the Rolex is attached to an identity of an individual. I think it's Laura. I think she used to be a SHIELD agent.
Mockingbird.
And there's a lot of rumors out there that she's going to end up being the Mockingbird. Yep.
Which would be awesome in general, because then it would be the possibly properly utilize Linda Cardellini
Exactly.
instead of the woefully
I don't know. I
underutilized.
still got some bitter taste in my mouth from Corey and Topanga days with her, and
Lauren.
Hey,
over.
you know what? You know what?
I'm
That's
kidding,
fine.
I'm
But
kidding.
Scooby Doo
No,
erases
you're
all
right.
I'm
sins.
kidding.
You're right. You know what's funny,
But-
Jazz? So
but
me and
no.
my brother, like when we have to make like a decision and we don't know what to do, like should we Lauren or Topanga it? You know when he did the jelly beans. That's how we solve all our problems.
No, see, but Scooby Doo erases all sins.
Oh
And
yeah.
you
Oh
can't tell
god.
me otherwise.
Oh god. Yes.
I'm sorry.
I just
I'm
have to
sorry.
say
He
that
was the
that
perfect
goes
mama.
for how wonderful of an actor she is.
She
'Cause
is true.
Facts.
It's very true.
if she makes me hate her because of Lauren, God bless her. You know,
It's true.
Hussy.
I don't
Knock
hate
me,
her. You guys.
Charlotte.
I'm just saying that right now. I don't hate her.
So so I'm thinking the watch is attached to her somehow. Like originally everything about Clint's life is supposed to be secret. And if this is something that people can track down Mockingbird, then that's a problem for him. So I think that's why it's kind of a big deal. And I feel like that might be why like Laura brought it up. Because she would have thought the watch was destroyed if it was the Avengers compound because it's safe there, I guess.
Right.
That being said, you know what might be safer? Clint's off the books farm.
Or maybe he wears it. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Not taking your kids to a Broadway show on opening night.
One of the 6 most recognizable people in that city.
He asked for it.
Nope.
Like
There goes our sponsor.
part of your deal with Nick was to keep the kids hidden. You got him in the biggest city in the world.
I had another thought
on Rogers the Musical.
I had another thought when I was rewatching it, that it might be something to do with Fury as well. Like it may show where Fury is, and maybe Clint knows that the Fury on Earth isn't Fury; it's actually Talos. So
yeah, my out there theory on some Force Awakens type stuff is what if it's the map to Old Man Steve, like just like my super out there.
Yali's hating that right now. I can tell.
I hated that part of Star Wars.
Then it wouldn't have been in the Avengers compound before it was destroyed.
Right, because my whole thing, if it is to Laura Byrne and everything,
yeah.
If we're assuming that Kingpin's the big villain, which is they referenced again, oh, he's working for the big guy. They kind of keep throwing us the clues. I'm like, why is that watch important to him? Like, why is exposing, Clint's wife important to him?
And that's true. And this could be a completely off the wall theory, unless whatever reason.
That's kind of what they're implying is because, like you said, she brought up the watch. Like, she was like, "Oh, the Rolex." He's like, "Oh, the Rolex. What about that watch?"
But the other thing about it is that they've changed so much Marvel lore already. Changing it to where Mockingbird had something to do with Kingpin losing a lot of his ability and clout and power. Because if he's the Kingpin, he should be one of those powerful criminals in New York, and apparently he's not.
Yeah, because we don't know if anything from the Netflix series carries over as canon. And last time we saw, he was completely taken down.
Yeah. And
him and like Vanessa went on the run or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I thought that the watch belonged to Coulson, and I thought,
I would love that.
I thought maybe it. I also think it might be a map, but like not a map to Old Man Steve.
Don't you do that to my heart?
I think it might be a map to Tahiti, where Coulson is, and also
it's a beautiful place.
It's beautiful, and I also think maybe it could. I don't know. Coulson doesn't sound lovely this time of year. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's very cold.
It doesn't sound lovely at all anymore.
I would love
if it was a map to Coulson. That would.
I think it might be related to Coulson. It might be Tahiti. I think maybe it has like the location of like where I guess like some sleeper agents of like SHIELD are, or maybe some other. Maybe Quake is there and all the other ones that were on Agents of SHIELD. It could be a way to tie it in. And I think maybe having Laura, Clint's wife being Mockingbird can maybe tie those two things in. Like, oh, she was my apprentice and she took over for me when I became a mother and got married and stuff like that. Like, she's Mockingbird 2.0.
Yeah, because Mockingbird was on Agents of SHIELD. Bobby Morse, so I think
definitely that would be cool.
We've already had tons of the whole like two different heroes of the same type kind of situation. The Hawkeye is just the most recent iteration of that. So yeah, no, I just it's a theory that popped in my head and is attached to other theories I have, including that I think I have an idea what happened when Maya's dad got killed, but I'm gonna wait that one out a little bit.
So give it another episode. Could it also be that the watch potentially opens something, which goes back to a theory that I had said last week, that what if Wilson Fisk bought Avengers Tower and like that watch might open some? Because I'm just thinking of like, Kevin Feige coming out and saying like, oh, Charlie Cox is going to be Daredevil, and we got Kingpin coming here, and all this. I know this is it's just the thing with Jamie Foxx having the arc reactor, it feels like all this Avengers tech that was in the compound just keeps popping up places.
So I think the difference with the Spider-Man thing, to offshoot for a second, in one of the trailers you see like Doc Ock's arm just start literally changing, like just like shifting down it.
Oh, Jazz got blipped.
Again, no. Why Jazz keeps not surviving the snap?
Or she went and got Wendy's. We don't know yet.
Wendy's, proud sponsor.
Wendy's, please.
Yeah, because and William Dafoe, when they did like that villains panel, he had like referenced like, oh, this suit's got some upgrades, and it just makes me feel like there's a tie-in somewhere there. Like the purchasing of the tower and these black market Avenger compound left behinds.
Jess, it's been 5 years.
It's been 5 years again.
I'm 40 now.
I might get blipped out.
No, and that's true. I think more that the technology that we see their suits change in No Way Home is going to be more of a like magic correcting the problem or the difference, because all their technology in No Way Home is like way behind where it should be compared to the rest of the MCU at this point. So but we'll see. That's another movie from another time.
Because kind of what I was saying before, in my heart of hearts, I just know I feel like they've never given us 2 episodes to open up a show before. I feel like there's a reason why they lined this up to go with No Way Home. And again, like with Kingpin and Daredevil, I don't think it will be major. So if anybody misses the show, they won't be like, oh, I missed this part. But I think like if Charlie Cox shows up in No Way Home and him being like the main protagonist for Kingpin, that could be like a connective tissue thing.
I hope. I also think that maybe they just did the 2-episode thing because that way the last episode falls right before Christmas.
Also true. Very true.
So do we think that he's going to make it home for Christmas, though? That's the question at hand.
I think so. It's a Christmas story. They're playing this up like a Christmas story. If he doesn't make it home from Christmas, they're destroying the entire idea.
I don't know. I mean, I could see them maybe like killing him because Jeremy Renner's contract is over too. Like, like they need a way to send him off. And I think he's starting to seem just very tired. Like all the guilt and the PTSD, like you could tell it's eating at him. And there's a sort of like somberness when he spends time with Kate. And I don't think it has anything really to do with his children. I think he sees a lot of Natasha in her. And I can see a lot of him just like missing her. Like, when you lose somebody you care about and you love them so much, there's a part of you just wants to be with them. And like the only real way to do that is to pass on. And I get this feeling like if he did die, I don't think he would be heartbroken about it. You know what I mean?
I don't think they're gonna kill him off as part of a Christmas thing. I think that's
too dark.
While that would be a good writing choice, that's also not Disney. If that was what they were going to do.
Disney loved to kill a parent. Let's not act like they don't
Disney do love
to
kill a parent. Here we go.
Do you know what they don't love to do?
Patricide is huge in the House of Mouse.
Do you know what they don't do? They usually don't kill a parent on Christmas. So that's
I gotta look that up.
You gotta look that up. I feel like somebody does.
like a parent's died on the holidays.
I'm not saying it never happens. I'm just saying it's not their norm.
I do think this was the point that I brought up to you on our side chat, Joseph, was that maybe he will retire and then we'll see more of Laura Barton taking up his mantle in the future of the MCU. That way we're going to get more Laura. Yeah. It's too close, you guys. Too close. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Because Yali brought up a good point about like him just being tired. Like if you really think about like the Avengers who survived the blip, he kind of like went through the most. Like he lost his whole family.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
Steve doesn't have family, essentially. Well, he does. Not sound like morbid.
Steve did exactly what Steve would do. He helped the best he could. So he basically did Sam's job while Sam was gone.
Yeah, exactly. But you had like Steve, who had like Natasha as like a crutch to lean on and everything. Like Okoye still had a lot of people in Wakanda.
She
But it's
had
like
duty.
Clint,
She had duty.
yeah,
to take care
exactly.
of
But like
things.
Clint lost his wife and 3 kids.
And she was
that
Pregnant
pregnant.
with a rat.
She was pregnant when he lost her. Like that's
Nope.
traumatizing.
No, she wasn't.
I don't
Isn't
think
she
so.
still pregnant?
Yeah,
She
Nathaniel
was-
was born.
it was Age
Nathaniel
of
was born
Ultron,
at
Oh,
the
little
age of
Hugh's
Ultron.
baby.
Yeah,
Either
he
way,
was-
that's
he was-
Because
he was
Natasha
Losing
was
a
all
baby is so
afraid her when
scary.
they found out it was a little boy.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
the one that wanted like mustard on or
Yeah,
like,
mustard on the hot dog.
mayo on the hot dog or something.
Yeah, something
like that.
crazy.
Yeah, it's
But no,
weird.
that is,
No, but
I do
on
really
Matt-
like that subplot. What were you gonna say,
Yeah.
Josh?
On Matt's point, we were in a future episodes, past episode, we were asking, do we think that Kate's family got blipped? And the way that she found out that Clint basically lost everything, I kind of got the vibe that
That shit they
everything
didn't.
that she had was just fine. It was just
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
all
that's fine, too. Me
So-
too.
Let's get back on track. What we have next is a fantastic holiday montage scene after he talks to his partner in crime. But I want to say it's the easiest way they could have had an alcohol advertising in a Disney movie without actually drinking alcohol.
yeah, cocktail packages, ice
Not,
packs.
yo,
Interesting.
those dailies pouches took me back. I was having mad high school flashbacks of them daily pouches.
I knew him then, so I understand.
But
Crazy.
it's great. I'm like, oh yeah, that's even better than like a bag of frozen peas because like it's literally like a liquidy substance. It molds to the shape it needs to be. It's so good. What do we think of this amazing montage scene that leads to a really depressing discussion?
I think it's a
Word.
reminder that Christmas and the holidays can be fucking depressing. They're not holly jolly for everyone.
Yep.
And I think it was a good chance for the two of them to like, again, really bond. But I got that moment as him seeing her like Natasha. I don't think he saw her as a daughter.
Especially seeing her like flick the coin and do
Yeah,
that so
like
quickly.
it felt
Almost hit the dog.
I know. I was like,
That dog's going through a lot.
Pizza already lost one eye. A second eye is not going down. Thank
and
you.
got kicked the crap out of him
And
first
got
episode.
kicked. Right,
Yeah, I was
right.
like, what the fuck? Yeah, I felt like I thought it was a very well executed scene. I thought it was very like it felt like the most Disney thing out of all of the series so far. But it was just like a really cool bonding moment, and the sadness that came afterwards. It's like again, it was he told the story how he met Natasha, which is why I felt like he sees Kate as that, which I think causes him to feel so scared about losing her. He's like, I've already lost her one time.
And
I
that's
cannot
proof,
do it again.
That's proof that they're bonding too, because he's actually talking to her. Like this is granted, it's his show, so like it's 50% his show, but this is the most he's talked in 13 years of movies practically.
Very true. Very good point.
Like this and then Endgame is the most discussion he's had with anyone. And we went to his house in Age of Ultron, and this is still the most.
Word. He had the least dialogue in his own house.
Because Laura's the boss there, man.
I was about to say I have a very
That's
boomer
hilarious.
joke that tracks. No.
Hilarious.
The boomerang arrow scene was really funny too.
Yep.
This is like they both could understand each other's point. It's
Yep.
like,
She was like, "Yeah, we'd have to dodge him, but
like they'll come
I just
back.
love the point that she's like, but it'd be cool, and he's like, but it makes no sense. Like, why?
Yeah.
I love the trope that they brought up. Like, yeah, if archery's your shit, like you're gonna lose your arrows a lot. Because in movies, it just seems like they have unlimited arrows.
Yo,
Like, where are you getting them?
Legolas never ran out of arrows.
Exactly. But for him to say like, yeah, we need to get them back if we want them. We shot them all.
I love going into my first level of RPGs. I love that a lot of modern RPGs do this. They have the idea that it's cinematic problems. Like when you don't worry about ammo until you have a critical problem. And then that's when you run out of ammo, and then you got to get creative. So it's more fun than tracking arrows. You just keep shooting until you mess up, and then you're like, well, what do I do now? Anyway, so this is also the part when we got to the depressing discussion that Kate figures out A, Clint lost his family, and B, that he's Ronin. Yeah, like she's like, it's you.
It's you, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're the reason I'm going through all this shit right now.
And then
No.
when she tells him that she says, you were a hero, and he replies back, I was a weapon.
Yeah, I love that.
Which
I
is
love that
true.
line. Yeah.
That's the thing. They're both technically right from different eras of his life.
Bucky was somewhere going.
Yeah, Bucky's
in my feels.
Bucky just like calls Clint one day. He's like, "Why don't we ever hang out? We have so much in common."
Well, Thunderbolt Ross heard that weapon line. He said, "Yo, that's what I tried to tell you about the Accords. Y'all wasn't trying to listen. I've been telling y'all that these people is off the chain.
Why is it the least powerful one of you got it?"
No offense, Clint. No offense.
But I did like that. I love that line because like that kind of shows the other side of it. That like they are heroes and they do save, but like Nick Fury essentially do be sending them on like genocide missions like more often than not.
So it's a very interesting concept that like the basic build of the MCU is like every single superhero team is kind of the X-Force. Like not literally, but they're kind of the X-Force. Because the X-Force, for those that don't know, is like the Black Ops X-Men. They do the dirty things and they go do things that you're not supposed to. Is where the X-Men are normally like, oh no, people are in trouble. Let's go save them with our mutant powers.
Go watch Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. But like even the heroic parts of the Avengers, like at the opening of Age of Ultron, when they're tracking down Hydra cells, like that's not like a Power Rangers protect the people thing. That's like
murder.
That's like going there
it's
and
murder.
starting.
Scorched earth.
You don't unleash the Hulk unless it's a real thing and you're expecting people to freaking die. Yeah. So because even when Hulk's gentle, he's like, oops.
Whoops.
Was that your neck? My bad.
Ask Loki that question, though. I think he'd have some arguments with that, but
Well, no, that's true. It's true. Well, Loki's not human. To quote Loki, he's a god.
True.
But so afterwards, they get some rest. Do we have anything else we want to talk about of the holiday thing? The music was great. It was giving me really strong Christmas Vacation vibes because that's the only other time I hear that song being used.
Him watching what was that? Oh, It's a Wonderful Life.
A Wonderful Life.
That was so sad, like because that scene like of him coming back, because in the movie, for those who've never seen it, he was in a world where his wife and kids didn't exist, and he gets him back. It's like, oh, you don't have that.
I
mean, he does kind of have that. It's just not
the best. He did. It just
they're
wasn't
not
fun.
with you right now.
It wasn't ideal.
He's like, oh, they came back and you're still not with them. Oh,
I do love the fact that they're showing like PTSD with him. Because there's so many callbacks to the Natasha stuff, especially.
This is some of the best uses of that kind of material since Iron Man 3, which weirdly enough, another Christmas movie. So
indeed.
Good point. I forgot all about that.
Is Disney trying to tell us Christmas equal trauma?
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, go ask Bruce Willis. I don't know.
I guess that's fair. 2 in a row too. So we got the LARPers. They're going to split the team, never split the party. The Kate goes to see the LARPers, and Clint goes to see Great Value Jon Snow.
Still hot with his Great Value or not?
I love Kazi.
Store brands are great. Store brands are made by the same buildings that make the name brands. It's just not the store brands.
Slap a different sticker on it.
That's all it is. 10 years of retail, and that's the biggest thing I learned.
Heard it here first, kids.
So what did we think of the more LARPers and Kazi scenes?
Them all willing to risk their jobs for costumes is hilarious.
There wasn't even a promise of costumes initially.
It was fabric at first, and then it became
the cop was just like, yeah, I'll tamper with evidence. Just give me some costumes. No big.
You said silk? I love silk. I could do it for silk.
So where do you think they're going to get the material from?
That's a good question.
Does Disney own Bravo? They can do like Mood. They can go like Project Runway. Whoever wins Project Runway this season,
no, I think
will be the one.
I think Kate's gonna requisition it from freaking Bishop.
That would be dope.
Yeah, because they're a security company. They got to have some sort of like flak vest.
Or if they want to connect the whole Marvel thing, then they can get the guy who made Daredevil's costume. Who was like some regular dude in like an auto body shop who also made costumes. Like if you want to put shit back in the mix.
That's a really awkward person to pull.
I mean, it could always be
But did he
Beast and
die?
maybe X-Men stuff. I'm just saying.
Sure.
Oh my God, please.
Beast would be great, or Forge for that matter.
Forge.
Well, Toby Maguire did his thing with a thread and needle. That's all he did.
No, he didn't. They
That's
just
why
made
he's
us-
coming back right there and making everybody new suits.
He's making the costumes.
Look, thread and
He gonna-
needle. That's all-
he
He's
gonna
gonna do
do-
he's gonna do everybody's comic
I
accurate
did-
outfits.
I did love that Clint stole Kazi's gun, and then Kazi's like, "Can I at least have it back?" And he's just like ejects the clip, throws the gun. What do you think?
Yo,
He
my
took
man,
his
he
gun, knife,
threw
and
that
box cutter.
gun. He threw that gun all of 20 feet. Like my man can't just get out the car and go get it.
He was too mad. He was in his field.
I was like, if you don't take that gun with you, he's like, nope. Kazi was just like, yo, I saw where it fell. Like I was looking at you. I saw it in the rear view. I see where it's at.
I also noticed Clint used the poorest choice of words. Like, I know you have Maya's ear. I'm like, come on, man.
Oh yeah.
Like, come on. Was that on purpose? Because that was like that's like, are you practicing to have your dad jokes back and you're just failing miserably?
No, someone in the
Because-
writers' room like high-fived each other when they wrote that shit.
You know
It
they
was
did,
like,
you
yo,
know
we did
He said,
it.
yo, it was 11:59. They needed a
You
line of
don't think
dialogue
we
by
didn't
12.
notice
Like,
What's up? What was that, Jess?
Oh, I just said you didn't think that we would notice, but we did.
We did. That's right, Jazz.
they didn't think that we would hear that joke. That's what
Ooh, I like
Yeah.
it. Took it up to another level.
Yeah.
Nice.
what I did there.
I
See what
also
did there?
dig that like Kate went to go find these LARPers and just took her bow and arrow and decided it was
What's
a good
up,
time to
guys?
like, yeah. Like, how is I don't know where the apartment they're staying at is, but all the walking there and taking the subway in like Archer gear with a dog, I'm like, is that, I mean, I know it's Marvel New York and that's not going to draw that much attention, but that's going to draw some, you know, like they're like, you're not even wearing a mask, man.
Right.
But I love how they didn't even like remotely question her when she said, "Oh, I'm helping out Hawkeye." I'm like, "And bitch, like, and I'm helping out the Hawk." Like, why did they just easily assume?
And you know, Grills was like, oh, that's my man's. Like,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
Like, they just immediately believed her, like, no questioning, or they didn't try to quiz her or some shit. Like,
Yeah.
We're worst first responders ever. They
Right,
no
like-
So,
questions.
on the upside, when someone else walks up with a bow and starts talking to you about the other Avenger with a bow, it's kind of
You
like,
just
okay, well,
believe
that's something. And
That's sad.
it's not good. No, I'm not trying to say
No.
it's like it was a good move on their part, but it's something. What else do we have? Do y'all have any fun stuff y'all thought of from these scenes?
but like, I love like how all, like Matt said, like all of these LARPers have like real full-time jobs. They're not like sandwich shop people or
They're policemen and
they
firefighters.
have real
So-
jobs. Like,
So, fun fact about the gaming community, both tabletop and like LARPing and board gaming and stuff, the bulk of the ones that do it religiously do have really good jobs because they are expensive as hell hobbies. Like,
I
if you
bet.
ever want to know how much people can spend on gaming, find Warhammer players because it's stupid. It's
Yeah.
stupid.
but also like maybe I'm just like ignorant. Okay, like a firefighter and like a person who works in office, like they don't have the same lunch break, do they? Like, how do these people all?
How do y'all coordinate?
How do they coordinate
these
the
Well,
lunch breaks?
firefighters, from what I understand, they work one day, then have two off, then work another day, and then have two more off.
Oh, so they on the
I
firefighter
mean,
schedule? Because that would make
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
sense to me. I just don't understand
Well,
how
also,
they organize this.
Speaking as someone who did organize, and honestly, as challenging as their schedules might be, I worked retail, and retail is really challenging if you're trying to organize events within your own store, because
Mhm.
finding days that everyone you work with is also off is a pain in the butt.
He said pain in the what? Say it, I dare you.
Say it. Say it.
So we would have a weekly D&D game on Wednesday nights. So it would literally, like, we just decided Wednesday night and literally was telling all of our managers, like, okay, we're not working Wednesdays. Just give us Wednesdays and we're good. It's cat. So it makes sense. Gamers that do this religiously and do it a lot, they either make their own jobs and work freelance, or they have really good paying jobs that they can plan their life around their work, because the work is technically stable scheduling. Because the work is stable scheduling, so they can plan their free time around it.
I also
Also,
love
they're
the scene
usually
with the
not
bag.
parents.
The scene with the bag. She was like, "You didn't bring your own bag." It's just like,
She
this
said,
is-
wait, but it says boomerang. No, bombshell.
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 my wife
She's like, my wife made this.
Yeah, my wife, she embroiled it.
She said, see, right here. It says
So
the second time he's been with the LARPers and he hasn't had his own shit. And they're just like,
they're just
so
like,
very
bro,
much unprepared, this man.
That was hilarious.
But yeah, no, I enjoy the reintroduction of the LARPers. I'm glad Grizz brought friends this time.
Yeah, he's like, you want some snickerdoodle?
Yo, oh my god. That might be the best line ever executed. Like, so casual, like snickerdoodles, like, and they looked proper. Someone who bakes cookies on a regular.
I was about to say
those are like some good ass.
Not just bakes cookies
to make,
but like other people's ovens are notoriously not the same as your oven, even if it's the same brand. So, and baking is less art, more science. So being able to like just cram out some snickerdoodles fresh out of someone else's oven
for everybody?
How? What witchcraft is that?
Oh my god! Shout out the grills.
shout out the grills.
True MVP of this show.
Yo, if they don't start selling those snickerdoodles,
ending doesn't happen to you here.
They need to sell those at the Avengers campus.
Grill snickerdoodles.
Grill snickerdoodles at the Avengers campus.
He needs to be in charge of the campus cafeteria. That's
there you go.
Absolutely.
There you go.
That would be amazing.
It could be called Grills.
Ooh, Disney, we're right here. We're right here.
Come get us.
Copyright it now, so you'll make millions.
Come get us. I'm trying to tell y'all.
So the plan after they have their arrows is to find the watch, which he's got an address for after Laura texts to him. They go, and what ends up happening is Kate using the hide in plain sight method to break into the building, which I absolutely love.
Oh my god, I love it.
I'm a proponent of being crazy to get past people because it's New York and everyone's crazy. Especially in the MCU, you'd have to be crazy to live in New York. It is not safe.
Facts. remember that alien invasion a couple years ago? Like, we'll stay.
And then the robot death machine that was born there. I mean, it's
or like all the events of Doctor Strange. I remember when everything was glass. Like, he was there, right? Like, it's crazy.
Bleecker Street.
It's all glass that day. It was all glass that day. They was like, what the fuck?
And you notice how when the aliens invaded again at the beginning of Infinity War, it was only at New York.
It was like, remember that alien invasion and then that other alien invasion?
And then that other alien invasion that was in upstate New York that just happened out of nowhere. So
it keeps happening.
New York, I mean, granted, that's the same way in the Marvel comics. New York is not a good place to live. But what did we think of this infiltration leading up to getting into the secret apartment?
Buddy.
I mean, I want to talk about the fighting, but we'll get there.
Yes, we will get there.
I mean, that happens in the apartment and outside of the apartment. So
it does.
You can just go ahead, Jaz.
Okay.
What I was gonna say before we get to the fighting, I was gonna say, as soon as the strobe started going, I'm like, oh no, I know exactly who this is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was great. And that is where Clint said the part about that watch belongs to someone that he used to work with.
Yep.
If they find the watch, it'll blow the cover. Bye, Frank.
Yep. But at that same moment, after he talked about the watch, we found a list of Clint's family.
Yep. Wife and children and their ages.
Yep.
Except for Nathaniel's. His age wasn't on there for some strange reason.
Which we could probably because they're like, we could go figure this out, but I don't want.
Right. It's just like we got two, that's enough.
Also, like, how are those ages accurate? They're like 5 years off. But anyway.
It's a catastrophe.
So I'm wondering if like that's causing Clint a little more panic if the watch is related to Laura. And that's the other thing, they may be able to find Laura's name, but that doesn't mean that her shield alias is blown or something like that. So who knows?
Maya having that list ties into who I think Eleanor called on the phone.
Yep.
Yeah. I think she called Val.
That would make more sense.
I think she called Val. Yeah, I think she called Val because when are we going there? We talking about it now. We just jumping right into it. So we know that Val told Yelena that Clint is the reason that that Natasha's dead. So she's on that mission. And you know, Maya, she didn't know nothing about nothing. She knew Clint was Hawkeye, obviously, because everybody like she believed that Kate was Ronin, this 22-year-old girl, clearly just been murdering people for 10 years. Like, since she were 12, just out here offing people. Well, yeah, like, but she didn't really have that information. So for her to have that list, I think Val supplied that to Maya to help Yelena get Clint. Why she wants Clint offed, one could speculate many different reasons.
Oh,
yeah,
I think it's because it would be harder to control Yelena if Clint could talk to her.
Very exactly. Very true.
Can I go back to my point I've been making for many panels?
Get it, girl.
If only he left her a note. He obviously knows who the fuck she is. He knew she would be upset. He knew she was gonna visit that grave at some point. Why say, yo, Yelena?
I don't think he knows.
Because he just kept referring to her as a widow. He's like,
he absolutely knows. They were best friends for years.
If he's been talking about his past and Natasha and everything he's lost with Kate, he would have told Kate who she was.
I don't think he wants her to know. Because I don't think he wants Kate to get more involved than she already is. Because I could see Kate being like, well, why don't we just go and tell her that you didn't do it? Like, it would be a reason for her to insert herself into the danger. So by omitting that information, it keeps her on, on the safer side. Yeah. But once again, he could have just fucking left her a note. Like, insane.
No. By the way.
Exactly.
Right. But I think the fact that Yelena saves Kate before she falls off the building kind of shows that her mom was just like, yo, my daughter might be with him. Please don't hurt her. Because she saved her before she fell off, and then when they had like that face off, she was like, "Yo, you don't want to do this. Like, do it."
I mean, that's exactly what I was gonna say. When she turns around, and yes, I screamed when I saw her face for the moment. I'm like, yes, finally, it's what I wanted. And hopefully they'll give us more, because if they don't, well,
she's in the next episode. The trailer for next week, she's in it. She's like in it.
But yeah, when Kate flung off the side and just went down on that wire, I was like, oh my god, look, it's another Natasha.
Oh, that callback,
And then there was Clint over the side.
They even played the music. I was like, oh my god, I'm doing this.
Oh my god, it was just awful.
This is just like Clint's like worst hits playing in his mind. That's all this episode is. It's like, well, hey Clint, why don't you experience Christmas? Go on a vacation, suffer the worst traumas of your life. It's cool. Go for it.
Over and over.
But I totally agree with Matt. He called Val. We were on the same page with that for sure.
I mean, that makes sense. I didn't think about Val being in the equation. Like it makes complete sense. Like I thought she was talking to Fisk. And maybe Fisk is working with Val and all sorts of stuff like that. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I had thought that at first, but then when Yelena runs away, I was like, you're there to kill Clint. Echo already dipped. Why would you run away at this point? She can't hurt her.
I don't think Yelena is 100% believing Val either.
Right.
I think because that's the whole situation. If Yelena was just literally there to kill, she would have killed both of them. So Yelena being called there by Eleanor makes sense. I hadn't considered that before, and it makes sense why she didn't kill Kate. She had a gun to Kate at one point, just straight up gun in hand at Kate.
I was like, Disney, we're allowed to do this?
It's not that hard. None of the people you're fighting are bulletproof. Shoot them. It's not like you're shooting the Hulk. That never works. You're shooting Hawkeye, literally the one it would work on. So Kate and Clint, if she was there literally to kill, they'd both be dead. And that's, because it's a widow. But I also think it's supposed to show that she's kind of like grown since her sister like helped them and stuff like
Absolutely.
that. Got a new vest.
Because she doesn't want to, because does
it have pockets though? That's my question.
That's probably. I would hope. She got the new one, black now. She got the black vest now.
That anti-feminist vest.
But
I went back to like what was it, Spider Monkey from? I went back to when I saw her.
Spider
exactly what that was.
My monkey's outfit.
I was like, what the hell is this? And I was like, oh, it's okay, the lamp. I'm like, Spider Monkey, what the hell is he doing here?
Spider Monkey would have been a better name, by the way, because it would have been
100%.
Yeah, it would have made way more sense.
Facts.
But like spelled Spider Monkey
with a Y,
like he's a spy. Exactly.
Ooh, Disney
Spider Monkey. We here.
Come get us. Come get us.
So
amazing.
Oh, what do we all think? Jazz, you want to talk about the fighting?
I mean, Matt basically took everything that I was gonna say.
Nah, I kind of want to stay here because I think Yali said it like episode 2. I don't think Echo's just human.
Yeah, there's something going on. It's very nebulous.
When she kicked Kate and Kate like flew across the roof.
Yeah.
and then she like ate the spider bites. It's like in contempt says Thor like gets checked out by those shocks.
Yeah, it was nothing for her.
She was like,
the leg, I gotta figure out which leg it was first, but the leg could have been the prosthetic, and she may have like some sort of advanced
that's a good
leg.
point.
That is a good point. Yeah.
So in general, cybernetics could be like her like upgrades and things like that. And that's the other element of Echo, if I remember correctly, her power set is a very similar, not power set, but her skill set is very similar to like Taskmaster's.
Yeah, Taskmaster.
We've had that discussion before.
Okay. Because she took an arrow to the shoulder. It was just like
nothing.
Nah.
She did look a little shocked. She looked like what is this?
This used to hurt when I was normal.
I'm hoping it's something like training / cybernetics and not like combat drugs, because that would be like, oh man, come on, that was gritty Jessica Jones in that work. Let's not do this.
She could be one of those people that cannot feel pain. Because there are those people out there.
She's kick ass.
Well, and the not feeling pain would also make sense why the strength is
nerve
there.
Because damage and whatnot.
When you don't have that nerve reaction, your limits are way lower, so you push yourself harder.
That kick, I was like, damn, Kate just flew across the damn.
There was a split second. I'm like, oh no, Kate's gonna fall between the buildings, and she just sailed over. I'm like, okay.
Clint didn't think that through when he cut the rope. She could have fell right through them.
He did not. He's like, the kid's got it. I'm sure she's got it.
She'll land on her feet.
I kind of I had a different thought on that. Like he cut it. I felt like he knew that she'd be just like doom 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 going like through the floors almost with the lights.
He definitely figured that out, because it's Hawkeye. Like his whole thing in the MCU is like immediate tactical assessment. Like that's literally the only benefit he has over the rest of the Avengers, is to be able to look at something and figure out what it's going to do. Because he got to be an archer the way he's an archer.
I think that we could solve all of this if Yelena just goes sees Rogers the musical and just sees everything that happened, and then she'll just go, oh, it's a misunderstanding.
So speaking of Yelena finding stuff out, sorry, I have a cat caught on a curtain. Speaking of figuring things out, like that actually, I just pieced this together in my head. So yes, Yelena seeing Eleanor makes sense, because if she doesn't fully trust Val, then who do you go see? Someone with that level of intelligence technology that's in the private sector. So Eleanor could be like looking information up on Clint in return for dealing with Clint and keeping Clint away from her daughter.
And that's definitely how she could have found them. You know, she tracked anybody. Well, yeah, they're there. and then there also would have been, she would have seen that Kate was with him too from her phone. She's like, oh, he's with my daughter. Like, don't hurt her. Chill out.
So
I do call bullshit for the whole 35 seconds that Clint was holding Kate by that rope. No one decided to jump him. His whole back was turned.
The two people
it was like a Power Rangers fight. Like, no, wait.
They waited for him to like be done till he's like, yo, you done? All right, come on.
So
wow.
The nicest villains.
I just knew someone was about to go grab him.
That's what I thought. Like, they're going to jump the shit.
Well, I mean, the thing with this show, like the Marvel Universe, though, when you're thinking of like villains of the Power Rangers versus Marvel, I mean, we've got many anti-hero types.
Yeah.
So they're not like pure evil, like I must destroy everything.
If Echo was a villain
and a reason for what they do.
If Echo was a straight up villain, yeah. If Echo was a straight up villain, she would have killed Kate a while back.
Yeah, but the motive makes it make no sense. Like, oh, you think that he killed your dad? You think that he killed your sister? He's totally vulnerable right here.
Exactly.
Let's wait.
She's also the anti-hero type, because she wants vengeance, but she really just can't can't push herself to take that final step and kill someone.
She said, what would Batman do? He wouldn't kill.
No, she's doing the thing.
Batman wouldn't kill.
It's the thing Bo-Katan did when the Mandalorian was like, "Here, you got the sword back." She's like, "No, like I gotta earn it." He's like, "Or you could just take the sword." He's like, "No, but you don't. Like I gotta earn it." Is what
he said. We need another season. You
can't
give me the sword.
Say,
Give
so
me the sword.
plot contrivance? No.
Yeah.
Facts.
She's just like,
So-
"Please just take the sword. What if I drop it?" She's like, "No."
What if I turn around and don't look?
I don't think Clint knew she was a widow because of who she was. He knew she was a widow because of the tools she
Because of the
used.
weapons. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the that's the bulk of it. Like he tells Kate to get lost because we're not working together anymore because she's a widow and she's too dangerous.
So basically, I wrote this whole thing down. He tells her that you're not my partner. You never were. Someone here with is okay. I can't read my own writing. I got
Someone sent a widow to kill me.
Yeah, so it's a Black Widow assassin. This just got very real. Get the hell out.
Yeah.
And I really like that he's basically trying to save Natasha through Kate in a way.
Yeah.
The way that he
Oh,
couldn't
yeah.
see her before.
Yep.
I'd have to watch it back, but where was Clint when Yelena took her mask off? Because he might not even have seen her face. Because she had like that
That's also
interaction
true.
with Kate. She had the interaction with Kate and then she jumped off the roof. I don't think that he might not
I don't
even have
think he
seen
put
her.
the mask back on.
No,
but
Clint wasn't Clint the one who took her mask off?
No, she
I
took it
don't
off.
think she took it off herself.
yeah,
Okay.
She took
I
it
thought
off
she was
herself.
wrestling with someone and someone grabbed it and ripped it off.
No,
her
she did
face.
that thing where Peter Parker takes it off every 5 seconds to remind you it's Tom Holland.
Ugh.
He goes, "Hey guys."
He's
Tom
not the
Holland.
only one. McGuire did it too.
Hey, I'm here.
dance off time.
He gone.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
So what did we think overall of the reveal? I think personally I thought it was a really cool fight scene reveal kind of situation.
I loved it. It was what I was wanting to see since I knew that we were having a black eye. Wow, Hawkeye show.
He's
That's
gonna
the
have a black guy.
Their buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
Him and Yelena. Black guy.
Disney, we're right here. So we keep trying to tell you.
Come get us. Just come get us.
They're gonna pull an anime.
We'll
and
make
like
you a lot of
junior
money,
high
we
series.
promise.
Yes.
They're gonna
Oh,
pull an
black-
anime and make a junior high series where it's Yelena
Also,
and Clint
Disney-
inexplicably in junior high together.
God, just years ago.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh man.
So I kind of have a running theory that we've talked about various theories and stuff for this show. I think what we have is Jack and Eleanor working together to take down Fisk.
Ooh.
And what happened a few years back is that Maya's dad found out and was going to tell Fisk. So maybe Ronan just did a killing spree throughout the city. And maybe Jack was a fanboy. I don't think it was Ronan that killed the red jumpsuit apparatus. Because if you notice when he talks to Laura about it, her response is literally like, "Oh, those idiots! Like they're not worth our time."
Yeah.
So
You're not worth genocide of the group.
Yeah,
Right.
they don't.
That's a really good point.
Clint talks about the fact that he made very determined decisions on the people he went to kill. And if he did that, if he did the research, then I don't think he would have gone after the tracksuit. They're like money laundering, like they deal with smuggling like secondhand junk, it seems like. So
That's a really good point. I never thought.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, no, I like that a lot because they definitely Clint and Laura definitely laugh at the tracksuit mafia.
Exactly.
Like these guys.
You guys.
Keep in mind there was another Ronin suit somewhere then.
Yes. Well, maybe because that's the other thing in Maya's flashback. We don't get a clear look at the Ronin suit. It's just Ronin-like. And Ronin's suit in bad light is just a dark suit with a hood.
True.
So it would also make sense why Jack wanted the suit because Jack might have been a Ronin fanboy. And the rich get perverse pleasure out of the weirdest things. So
and we don't know when
someone
Clint came in possession of that suit originally. We just know it was sometime during the blip years.
Well, and that's the other thing is like that may not what Jack was wearing and fighting with because I had to go back and look at the episode. I don't know if that was Ronin's extendable sword that he was using to kill people. It was just a sword.
Yeah, it did look just like a samurai sword.
Yeah, Bishop Security makes outfits and weaponry. I'm sure she could have easily made that for her boyfriend. Like, Happy Valentine's Day. Is there a
There you go.
Why don't you put this on?
All right.
So I think that maybe Eleanor and Jack have been like planning to take down Fisk for a long time, or whoever the boss is, for a long time. And yeah, I also am not 100% sure that it is Fisk, just that they're Ralph Bonering us. That
They
maybe
not, bro.
maybe the person who is uncle is already dead, because I think it might have been Duquesne the Third, Armand Duquesne or whatever his name was.
Armand
the Third. I could be wrong there, but I think that might be a situation. Regardless, I think it was Jack that killed Maya's dad. We're gonna find that out, and he's basically been bossing Kazi around. I'm not even sure Kazi doesn't know. So
my concern is like, they only have 2 episodes left, and I'm worried they're gonna do the same thing that Loki did, which was try to rush all their ideas into
absolutely
episodes, because like, oh shit, like we literally only got like 80 minutes and we got to make 2.5 hours worth of shit. They don't.
And that's what I said before. I wasn't sure if I
time?
wanted to see Elena in this because of the
has the run time for the next 2 episodes like been released? Like how long the episodes are?
I don't know, but I know this one was one of the longer ones.
So on the upside of this, at least we got Yelena in episode 4 and not like 5 or 6.
Right.
So
they don't have any more episodes to put her in.
The rumor is that episode 5 is supposed to be like a monumental game changer, like across the board. That's what they keep saying. And kind of on Joe's point about Eleanor and Jack taking down Fisk. I actually did read something this morning that there's like a theory that Jack is actually trying to take Eleanor down, and that he's actually trying to like keep Kate safe, and that's why he's playing like the dumb stepdad role, trying to like get her away from the situation and whatnot, and like because he knows Eleanor's on some shit.
You know, I have to agree with you on that, because like even though they want us to, obviously because he held the knife to Clint's throat, I don't trust that mom. There's something really weird about her. So I'm on that train with you there. I think that's a great theory.
Yeah, when I was reading, I kind of like that, because and then it kind of plays along the fact that like the uncle didn't like the mom, and he was like, "Yo," he's like, "Don't play these games with me. I got powerful friends too."
If it's that way around and Eleanor's the real threat, then I really get the image that Jack just kind of wants to be a hero and is very bad at it, which is a very possible atmosphere they're trying to build for the character as well. So we have reached our 9 o'clock time, or 8 o'clock for you guys. Or 10 o'clock for you guys. I'm sorry.
Time is an illusion.
Time is a man-made construct. It's a man-made construct.
Time is a flat
circle. Endgame was 3 hours long. Let's go. No, I'm kidding.
No. I have to work in the morning.
I don't think either Kyles will let us do that. So
I'm gonna go around the room. We're gonna start with Jaz. Jaz, why don't you tell the people where you are, what you're doing? What's
all right? So
right,
let's see. This weekend I've got my big choir concert going on, so that'll be awesome. You can find me at Rose City Widow on Instagram, and I'm slowly writing some things over at Fandom Spotlite, so keep an eye out for those. There's great stuff coming up for you guys.
Matt, why don't you tell people about yourself and actually what you do, not just
a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and everything in between. No, but just like Jaz, you can find me writing things sporadically for Fandom Spotlite, always on these panels. And you can also catch me at the Ether Podcast every Sunday on Apple, Spotify, and Anchor. That's EITHER. The I is silent. We did not spell it wrong. And then I'm Matthew Porter on Facebook, and _menace2 sobriety on Instagram. The 2 is just a number, not spelled out.
Nice. Yali, why don't you give the folks the lowdown on Yali here?
I am Yali. I'm your resident hater. I know it was weird last week. That probably won't happen again.
You gotta like something, Yali.
Do I? My kid, and that's about it.
We hate because we love.
Yes.
You don't like America's ass? I mean, what's up with that?
I love America's ass.
It's
There we
on
go,
the
see?
moon.
There we go.
It's Moon's ass. He's not
It's
on
Moon's
planet
ass.
Earth right now.
No. But yeah, I'm Yali. I work here at Fandom Spotlite as a content curator, social media manager. I also write some things here. I'm a writer over at Funimation because I'm allowed to say that now until they tell me I can't. And and I am an ambassador for the Game Hers, which is community of gamers for women or women identifying people. And so I just started doing that. So I'll be doing some things video game related because I like video games too, damn it. And I'll be here doing panel and things and being angry and hating. So I know about. Oh, and for Victor, moist. You couldn't be here, but I'm not for you.
I'm not gonna say what he told me earlier, but
and Matt, he could be on the moon and it's still America's ass. Whose flag is up there?
Ours.
Absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
America.
I'm Joe. I've been your resident chaos sorcerer, bringing a little bit of discord to the stream.
it's
know.
not you,
And
it's your
makes-
cats, man. It's your
And
cats.
makes running the asylum.
Oh my god, look at the ball.
So I'll be here again next week, though I think Yali will rightfully take the reins back from me because again, chaos rains only once in a while. We can't let it rain all the time because then it's just chaos. There's no rain.
I don't know.
Thank you for joining us. We've enjoyed the crap out of the show so far, and I'm looking forward to the rest of it and whatever else is coming down the pipe from us.
Spider-Man, so close. So close.
My tickets, hey.
Assuming I can get tickets because
Oh yeah, that's a very valid point.
but thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys next week, and don't forget, follow your fandom.